Ahoy, mates!
Hello, happy travelers!
Welcome back on board Icon of the Seas, day number 6, our penultimate day of the cruise. And we find ourselves at sea once again. We're gonna just keep the theme rolling here. Lots of fun to get into. Day number 6 on board Icon of the Seas begins right now.
So, since we've been basically living on this cruise ship for the past about 10 days, including the preview, we thought for today we would give you our opinions of Icon of the Seas in general, tell you our favorite things that we have found on board this brand new, largest ship in the world vessel.
Number 1, the elevator system.
Brand new elevator system, no just hitting up and down and go into whatever comes first. You actually come over. There's multiple touchscreens located throughout the entire elevator bay area. You choose the floor number that you need, and it will then tell you to go this way or that way or this way to an assigned letter. For example, letter B. So someone just hit it, letter B lit up, they would go here. When it flashes and dings, that means it has arrived. You get on. You do not need to hit any other buttons at that point. It will just automatically go to your floor. Now, it might hit other floors along the way, but it will eventually get to the floor that you had designated. Much more efficient. You don't have people cutting you off when you were waiting 5 minutes and then they just walked up at the last second. None of that going on. Much more efficient. You don't have a lot of crowds. You don't have to wait as long. It's a huge plus.
And in addition to it like being a faster process and more efficient and everything like that, you also have, look at how much space you have in the elevator area. Like, you're not cramped. There's not people like hugging up against the door, like waiting for that little crack to open up. Like, you have lots of room.
It kind of just makes the elevator process less stressful.
And don't forget, it's Thursday, the 3rd day, okay? Number 2, all the casual food on board.
Okay, Icon has totally killed it when it comes to having casual dining options, which is our favorite way to eat. They have all your favorites, like a Local Fresh and Central Park Cafe and all that good stuff. But then they came up with a bunch of new options, like Surfside Bites, Surfside Eatery, and Aquadome Market. Like, lots of like really good stuff that's completely included with your cruise fare. But then if you don't mind paying like a little extra and you don't want to like make like reservations for specialty restaurants, you can also do some casual stuff like Azumi in the Park or Base Camp, where it may be extra but it's not like a huge cost like you would have at an actual sit down specialty restaurant. I really like that you can just roll up without a reservation and have all this good stuff. And honestly, I don't think you need a dining package on Icon of the Seas. Like, if you want to go to like some restaurants like Giovanni's or Izumi Sushi or Hibachi, like, it's definitely delicious, but I think you can eat on this ship like totally free, no problem.
Number 3, themed neighborhoods.
So themed neighborhoods, of course, something we saw introduced kind of on the Oasis class of ship. We've seen that for years. Some of that's carrying over to this ship. We still have Central Park, and we have another area that's kind of like the boardwalk. We'll get to that in a little bit. My favorite themed neighborhood, I think, is the Thrill Island area up on deck here. And the reason I love it so much is because of that theming. It's got the thrills, it's got the adventure aspect. There's jungle theming, there's shipwreck theming, there's like base camp mountain climbing theming. You have the Category 6 water park here, which of course is named because 6 water slides on board. It's kind of playing off the hurricane ranking system instead of Category 5, taking it to the next level with Category 6. And the theming just continues throughout. Broken boats, buoys, flags, all of that stuff really tying in the aspects of adventure, exploration, all the thrill aspects coming together. I don't think you can beat it.
And my favorite neighborhood is Surfside, and because it is just like a kid's paradise. They themed this to a T with kids in mind. It's just so colorful, and they like really thought about a lot of details and fun ideas to make this like perfect for kids. I mean, where else can you take a slide and then hop on the most adorable carousel in the world?
Number 4, ship flow.
So as someone who tours ships all the time and gets to go all around them, I tend to notice things about flow and design, trying to avoid compartmentalization. I think Icon of the Seas might be the best example of that we have seen. The promenade here provides several great examples of that. My personal favorite being the upper deck. We have 2 levels to this promenade, and normally, like on Oasis class ships, you go to the upper deck, you can only go about halfway, and it's a dead end. Not so here on Icon of the Seas. Both sides, port and starboard, will flow all the way down, so you can transverse completely from one end to the other. But you have a lot of options to get from A to B. You don't always have to go to the same place or go the same way, and that really helps alleviate traffic flows. And they've invented a lot of new ways of doing things too. For example, implementation of escalators on this ship, not only for getting on and off at the different ports, but we have an escalator here in the promenade that goes right down to the casino or right back up if you're already down there. We also have behind the Pearl a stairwell that will take you from deck 6, the upper deck of the promenade, right up to deck 8 into Central Park. So of course you could normally take the elevators or the stairs that are in the main areas and go up and then walk across, but now they're giving you another option. So you'll find that throughout the ship, various ways to access different points in different areas.
Number 5, attention to detail. I feel like Royal Caribbean has done a really good job of paying attention to really small details on Icon. For example, here in Central Park, they've been playing like wildlife sounds and stuff like that, along with like the crickets and the birds chirping, and which is pretty cool. And then these beautiful orchids that's been hanging down. There's orchids all throughout Central Park, and I don't know, it's touches like that make me really, really happy. But it's not just in Central Park. We've been seeing them all over the ship. In the Pearl, of course, that's a very photogenic spot, and they have like a specific place for you to take photos there. In Surfside, for the kiddie drinks, they have them in like little Ziploc Capri Sun kind of style, so they don't spill. They have like designated areas for the chairs up on the pool deck, so then it's not in walking areas. And just having more seating in general on this ship, I really feel like they thought of everything with this ship. And I know that may sound kind of cheesy, but just the attention to detail that went into planning this ship and then executing this ship, I feel was really beautiful and helps make it a beautiful ship to be on. Well, that's it. That's our 5 favorite things about Icon of the Seas. And let me just say, there is a lot more. It's just we're doing a 5 list right now.
That was parsed down. It
was parsed down, but really everything on this ship is absolutely beautiful and has been working pretty seamlessly, honestly, for an inaugural. And like, I know we're the happy Hoffmans, but I'm telling you, we've been trying to look for flaws because we want to tell you guys if there's like some stuff on the ship that you need to watch out for. And we really haven't been finding anything.
No,
you know?
We always want to be positive and happy, but we also like to be honest. We don't want to steer anyone in the wrong direction, whether a viewer, a client, or both. So with that said, we've tried our best to come up with some things. We haven't been able to find negatives per se, but maybe just some things to keep in mind, or just areas that maybe could have been better if we're getting picky.
I've been keeping a list and I've only found 2 things.
Have you checked it twice? We already saw what was nice.
What's naughty? Let's see. It's a short list. The Aquadome area, where they do the aqua shows, it's a beautiful venue. Absolutely stunning.
Yeah, it's outstanding.
The seating is a little bit smaller in that area. There's less space for people to sit, so thus it gets filled up a little bit quicker. So that's kind of a negative. We just kind of recommend getting there a little bit earlier, like between an hour and a half hour early. But other than that, it's a beautiful space and it's definitely an upgrade. It's just a little bit limited in capacity.
Which makes sense, but just something to think about. Well, as we were talking about earlier with ship flow, me being the ship tour guy, the only area on this ship that I think is kind of like, oh, that's odd. It's an odd placement. It's an odd design because it's a dead end, is to get to Absolute Zero, the ice skating venue. And it's because you have to, like, you're going to go into Surfside, but then you turn and you go through 2 small gift shop areas and then Playmakers, and then you get into Absolute Zero, and the entrance to the teen club is also right there. It's just kind of weird. It does feel like an afterthought. It might have just been that was the only place they could put it. And to be honest, if that little bit is the only thing that doesn't make sense and it leads to the great flow throughout the rest of the venue, then I think it's worth it.
Honestly, that's really the only two things we could think of. In this whole ship, largest ship in the whole world, we could only come up with those two things. I think that's not bad. And I know a lot of people's concern with Icon of the Seas is that it's a higher price point than other Royal Caribbean cruises or just other cruises in general. But I mean, I gotta be honest, you're kind of getting what you're paying for. I mean, it's a great quality product, and yes, it costs a bit more, but I mean, at least you're getting a wonderful vacation out of it. I'm in love with it. I'm not gonna lie. Icon of the Seas, it claimed that it was gonna be iconic. I think it is. I think it's gonna change the cruise industry from now into the future.
All right, friends, that is going to do it for us. Day number 6 on board Icon of the Seas. It is drawing to a close tomorrow. What better way to end it than a perfect day at CocoCay? That is where we will be tomorrow, and of course back on board Icon of the Seas. So we hope we will see you back then. If you missed any of the action, Icon of the Seas playlist on our YouTube channel. If you want to book your own Royal Caribbean cruise, feel free to reach out via the travel agent information in the description of this video. It's completely free to you, so why not? And we hope we'll see you on board one day as well. Thanks for joining us for today's video, but we're signing off. We'll see you next time.
Happy
travels!